Imagine a chaotic Monday afternoon in the heart of a bustling metropolis. The city is alive with the sound of sirens, the rhythm of rushing footsteps, and the endless hum of traffic. Everyone is running. Everyone is racing against the clock. Faces are glued to screens, eyebrows are furrowed in stress, and minds are already thinking about tomorrow's meetings. In the middle of this urban storm, there is a quiet park. And on a simple wooden bench sits a young man named Leo. Leo is a freelance photographer. He is leaning back, legs crossed, holding a warm paper cup of latte. He isn't looking at a phone. He isn't checking a watch. He is simply watching the clouds drift slowly across the gaps between the skyscrapers. Every now and then, he lifts his vintage camera, snaps a photo of a pigeon or a falling leaf, and smiles to himself. He looks strangely peaceful in a world that has forgotten how to stop. Suddenly, the peace is broken. A man in a sharp, expensive suit rushes over and collapses onto the bench next to him. This is Mark, the CEO of a fast-growing tech startup. He is wearing a high-end smartwatch that keeps buzzing, and he is shouting into his wireless earbuds about quarterly projections and investor deadlines. Mark ends the call aggressively, wiping sweat from his forehead. He turns to look at Leo, baffled by the younger man's calmness. He asks, sounding almost offended, "Hey, buddy, it's Monday afternoon. Why aren't you working? Why are you just sitting here staring at the sky?" Leo takes a slow sip of his coffee and replies, "I finished my work for the day. I shot a menu for a local bakery this morning. It paid enough for my rent and my coffee this week. Now, I'm just enjoying the afternoon." Mark's eyes widen in disbelief. The entrepreneur inside him immediately wakes up. He shakes his head and says, "What? You are wasting your potential. You take great photos, but you are only working enough to survive? You need to think bigger. You need to scale up." Leo looks at him curiously and asks, "And then what?" Mark shifts on the bench, his energy rising. He starts gesturing with his hands, outlining a grand vision. "Listen, I can help you. Don't just be a freelancer. Start an agency. Hire 10 other photographers. Automate the editing process with artificial intelligence. Build a platform that connects clients with creators globally. You shouldn't be the one taking photos. You should be the one managing the empire." "Okay," Leo says calmly. "And then what?" "Then you grow," Mark continues, his voice getting louder. "You raise capital from investors. You go through Series A and Series B funding rounds. You expand to London, Tokyo, and New York. Your company valuation will hit millions. You will be featured on the covers of business magazines." Leo nods slowly. "That sounds exhausting, but okay. And then what?" Mark laughs, a look of triumph on his face. "This is the best part. This is what we call the exit strategy. When the time is right, you take the company public. You launch an IPO or you sell the whole thing to one of the massive tech giants. You walk away with tens of millions of dollars in your bank account. You will be rich beyond your wildest dreams." "Tens of millions," Leo repeats. "And then what?" Mark's voice softens. He leans back, looking up at the sky, his eyes glazing over as he pictures his own dream. "Then," Mark says, "then you are finally free. You can retire early. You can leave this noisy city and buy a small house near the ocean or in the quiet countryside. You won't have to answer to investors or clients anymore. You can sleep in as long as you want. You can spend your days walking in nature, drinking good coffee, watching the clouds, and you can finally have the time to take photos just for the joy of it." Leo sits in silence for a moment. The wind rustles the leaves around them. He looks at his cheap paper cup of coffee. Then he looks at Mark, who is vibrating with stress and exhaustion. Leo smiles gently and says, "Mark, isn't that exactly what I am doing right now?" Mark freezes. He looks at Leo. Then he looks down at his buzzing phone, filled with unread emails and urgent demands. In that split second, the realization hits him like a physical blow. My friends, the story leaves Mark sitting on that bench, stunned. But it speaks directly to us. We live in a culture that worships the hustle. We are programmed with a specific roadmap for life. Work hard in school, get a high-paying job, grind through your 20s and 30s, sacrifice your sleep and your health, save every penny so that one day, decades from now, you can finally afford to be happy. We treat happiness as a reward that is only unlocked at the end of a long, painful game. We sell our present moments to buy a future that is not guaranteed. Mark wanted to work for 20 years, enduring extreme stress and burnout, just to buy the right to sit on a park bench and drink coffee without guilt. Leo, on the other hand, decided to claim that right today. The difference between them wasn't the number in their bank account. The difference was the freedom in their minds. Mark was a prisoner of someday. Leo was the master of today. This doesn't mean you should not have ambition. It doesn't mean you shouldn't build great things. But it asks you a crucial question. What is your life's exit strategy? Are you working to escape your life, or are you working to live it? Why do we wait for a retirement party to start doing the things we love? Why do we wait for $1 million to allow ourselves to breathe? Don't wait until you are old to watch the sunset. Don't wait until the weekend to hug your family. Don't wait for the exit to start enjoying the entrance into each new day. Take that photo. Drink that coffee. Breathe that air. Because the biggest tragedy in life is not that we don't reach the destination. It's that we forget to enjoy the journey.
Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Fable.